this episode, we traveled to Xituo, located in Shizhu County of Chongqing. There is an important historical salt transportation route. Starting from the dock, workers carried salt on their backs over the mountains to Hubei. In order to promote the salt trades in the past, people gradually carved out this route, in length of around 300 kilometers. I'm in Western China, navigating a road racing against time. This is the place I'm too familiar with, but yet there are many things I've never experienced before. With memories disappearing daily and culture going with them, I got to capture this before it's too late. There is bustling markets offering traditional meals cooked by hand. There is history spanning 5,000 years, with over 20 dynasties have came and gone, rising and falling. Mountains and rivers nurture the legends of faith and truth, and all those stories echoing above the clouds. The Yangtze River passing by this place created a turning corner, and it slightly changed the direction of the water current. And on this side, where I'm standing here, on this side of the river, the water current erodes the shore to form a kind of deep water harbor. Ships used to pull over here before approaching the deadly three gorges of the Yangtze River. As more boatmen gathered here and salt trading became more and more busy, a town starting to grow here. Now, because the shipping conditions have increased a lot, and also the cargo ship also increased their range, so gradually there are less and less cargo ships docked in this harbor.你们平时也在那里来洗吗？
没有，我们那上面种，烟都没来。
哦，
有个大烟，我们那上面的。
哦，上头也有个池塘。
不是个烟塘，是个大烟。大烟那所有的那就是吃的那个烟，那个大烟过来的水。哦。
Even though the ships no longer dock here, no man is pulling those boats, and the dock side is no longer busy, you can still find the traces of people's lives here. People would take the ferry to the other side of the river, and the locals would wash their clothes by the river. So as we walk into the old town, we just found some performance here. Behind me in the front door of this old town, they are playing some ethnic performance here for celebrating the Lunar Chinese New Year. So the inhabitants in this area are mainly Tujia ethnic minorities, and they are basically distributed at the junction of Chongqing province and also Hubei, Guizhou, and Hunan province. Walking into this town, I bumped into the couple washing clothes by the river again. They would be on their way home. I followed them for a while but kept my distance. I didn't want to bother them again. What made me feel slightly different here was that, despite the fact that this town is commercialized and touristy, I could still see the real lives of normal people. Urban expansion unavoidably led to changes, and this town, as a prototype of the city, kept its original pattern here. The new and the old tried to seek a balance here without upsetting one another. Because of the mountainous terrain here, all the houses were built along this mountain, and it looks like they were stacked on each other. There are many layers looking down on them. Though the houses are located on both sides of this road, but they are not completely symmetrical, and the roads just wind up the mountain, and we need to turn right or turn left at the corners. The stores on both sides may still be under construction, or the owners may have been back home for the new year. The buildings in this town have basically been restored and given a new polishing outside, and there are also some relatively original-looking houses that have been preserved. Walking on the stone road, very uneven yet smooth, there must have been a lot of people stepping over this path for hundreds of years. The terrain here is so steep, and the road is kind of vertical to up hills, and it's very hard to imagine how hard it is for the former workers to carry the salt from the dockside all the way to the top of the mountains. It is said it's around 50 kilograms of the salt bags carrying on their backs. This road for transporting salt in the old days, with the thousands of stone steps stretching up to the top of the mountain and into the clouds, is known as Cloud Ladder Street. Water transportation was full of uncertainty, making salt delivery by river unstable as well, especially because water transportation could result in salt loss, so workers were required to carry products over land. They hold a wooden stick and carry heavy salt bags over the mountains, step by step, until they reach Hubei. On the way back, they carry some other supplies, such as wood oil, herbal medicine, tea, tobacco, and so on. So Xituo was once a trading center. This was how they made a living, and the stone road here recorded their past. There is a waterfall beside me, and there is a very beautiful old-style wooden building. They call this kind of building as 吊脚楼. It's a very typical wooden building from Tujia ethnic minority. Across the waterfall there is a loft.这是点啥子菜有的呢？
儿菜，
这个是儿菜呀？
那个是雷，
那个是儿菜。
哎，那个是儿菜，没长大二狗。
那个拿来做啥子哟？
做咸菜啊，这少一颗儿啊，都那个啊，拿来啷起，干头都给它拿来煮咸弄盐，弄还叫炸起，炸起而且这少一颗儿的时候抓起到头，这是少一颗儿，少一颗儿都非得要那个菜。
嗯。
哎，它盐菜的嘛，你不那少一颗儿给烘子煮出来呀，非得要有盐菜啊，没盐菜都不得行了，都不起啊。洗烧肉都要有大米杆面，烧面肉都要那个菜叶叶。
They wrap this kind of vegetable leaves and to hang outside to dry it and to make pickles for like making some steamed meat. I just bumped into a local resident. She is smoking the meat by burning some pine branches and some orange peels there. Then hand the meat in this metal container. And she told me they burn the pine branches and also the orange peels to just remove the bad smell or the greasy smell of the meat. So you will add some fresh fragrance to the meat. Wow. 伢那个是做来自己用吗？
编辑手机，
哪里有运的做之类的哟？
这做做是去买的。
哦，买的啊。哦。
这个是，都是做豆子，有大的，还有大的，还有细的。哦。就是说大也不算大呀，说小的嘛，年过嘛90。90
岁了呀，伢儿。那身体很好嘛。
小伙子做那个，我们的是这种，就是还是这个帮忙。
嗯。
那么。我是帮忙，别个就看不到，只有他们才看见来的。
哦。
几盒的托的，我们拿来就是，这里狗狗的有个狗狗，再放好多，那狗狗。
编一个这个篮子要好久哦？
这个
啊。
那个起来都是一大半天来了嘛。
一天？
上午都不想起的。
哦。
慢着手慢。
Old man told me that many people he knew had moved to live in the big city of Chongqing, but also some elders of his age preferred to stay here, growing vegetables on spare land or weaving bamboo baskets for personal use or for sale. The salt road, lasted for hundreds of years, has been losing its function over the last century, and the town that grew up as a salt transition hub has turned into an ordinary community. The place has been kept as a tourist attraction. The original houses have been renovated and repainted. The salt carriers have turned into performers, and the new city has expanded along the stone road to the surrounding areas. And the people still live here. However, they no longer carry salt.